Still trying to figure out how you're going to talk to your kids about divorce, wrestling with the right time, and not wanting to break their hearts. In today's video, I share insights on how to have an open and compassionate conversation with your children about your decision to divorce. And if you didn't know, I'm Myesha, speaker, author, content creator, and your new best friend. I provide weekly videos to inspire, motivate, and empower you to live a happier and healthier life. Divorce is a challenging and life-altering experience, especially when children are involved. One of the most crucial and sensitive aspects of the process is explaining the situation to your children. I will never forget the day we had the conversation. In our situation, we didn't publicly share problems or issues, so our children were used to how we related to each other. Telling them was going to be like dropping an atomic bomb. I knew they weren't expecting it. I wrestled so much with it. I knew it was going to be hard, and it was likely going to be one of the hardest things that had to be done at this point in our journey. We had already met with a mediator, and we knew it was time to move forward with the divorce. It was difficult to say because children have their own referent for what divorce means and what it means for them. I talked to my therapist about the effects of divorce on children. I knew that this was going to be a core memory for them, and nonetheless, it had to be done. Shielding kids or thinking we're shielding kids from tough conversations doesn't shield them. It just postpones it for later. Their parents divorcing would be a part of their story forever, and I knew that. Not telling them would not save anything but the illusion of time. Have the difficult conversation. There's no easy way to get into it, but this was an incredible opportunity to model for the kids how to handle difficult conversations and the necessary transitions that adults have to make. I started to share first, and I just explained what was happening. My ex-husband continued. We opened up the floor for the children to respond to what was said, to ask questions. We all cried our eyes out. We hugged, we prayed, and we tried our best to hold space for each other. It was hard, and we did it. I immediately signed each of them up for weekly talk therapy. And even though it was so uncomfortable and hurtful for them, I felt like it strengthened our relationship and our connection, because I felt like we were now in full authenticity. We all were up to speed with what was happening. There was no hiding, there was no covering. It was like, here we are. So because I've walked this path, here are a few things that I feel like can help you have your own conversation with your children, your family members, people you love in your life. Number one, choose the right time and place. Don't obsess about it, but select an appropriate time and space to have this conversation. Make sure it's private, it's quiet, it's comfortable, where you and your children can talk without distractions. No phones and all that. Timing is key. Like, make sure it's not right after school or when they're gonna be tired and overwhelmed with homework. Choose a time when everybody is relatively calm and not preoccupied with other things. This is not a conversation on the fly. You gotta sit and be present. Allow for uninterrupted conversation. So you allocate enough time to have this discussion without feeling rushed or interrupted, or I can be here for 30 minutes, but then I gotta go to something else. By setting the stage appropriately, you can create an environment that's conducive for open and honest communication. Number 2, present a united front. If you have a partner that's still in your life, divorce is hard for children, so it's crucial for both people to be there. And here's how you can kind of work together to accomplish that. You and your ex, if you can, plan the conversation together. Discuss what the key points are, what you want to convey to the children, what the messaging is, and present that united message. It reinforces stability and reassurance. In this conversation, avoid at all costs blaming and criticizing. Focus on just expressing your feelings and your decision without blaming this parent or that parent. And it will take you some work to not say, well, we're getting a divorce because he cheated or she cheated. Just, we're not going to be together. And overemphasize your love for them. I think children just want to know that they are loved and that nothing will change that love. The divorce is not their fault. There's nothing that they did, nothing that they could do to make it better, that it happened. By demonstrating this unity and love, you provide a sense of security during a really challenging time. Number 3, make sure to use language that's appropriate for the age of your children. So when you're talking about divorce, custom fit what you describe it as for their age and level of understanding. Keep it simple. Avoid like complex legal or emotional terminology that a 4-year-old can't really understand. Be honest and sensitive. Give the basic information about the changes that they're going to see without overwhelming them with unnecessary details. Mom loves you, dad loves you. We're going to live in separate places. We're still going to be your parents. We love you so much. We understand how this must feel to you, and it breaks our heart to have to say this. And then give space for them to address their concerns. Encourage them to ask you questions and express themselves. What did you hear me say? Allow them to reflect back their understanding and ask their questions honestly and provide reassurance. I'll share more when the time is right, son. Just whatever you're uncomfortable with. And adjusting your language for their stage is very important. My kids were 16, 15, and 10, so we got to be a little bit more honest with them. That would be different for a 4-year-old when the kid is asking why daddy isn't coming home at night. Customize it, fit it for their age and stage. And then number 4, validate their feelings. Allow your children to express their emotions and validate that their feelings are valid. All through the conversation, I hear you. Thank you for sharing that. I understand. Create a safe space for emotional expression. And it's really easy. Actively listen. Pay attention to what they're saying, what they're not saying, their nonverbal cues, their emotions, and then show empathy and understanding. You can always encourage them to express themselves, like it's okay to feel angry, it's okay to be confused. Assure them that all those things are valid and that no matter what, you're going to be there to support them on the journey. When we reassure our children in these difficult times and we provide stability, it's so helpful for the process. They want to know all will be okay, their basic needs will be met, that despite what's happening with their parents, they're going to still be loved, you will still be there. And I made sure that I was fully present, like we are going to walk through this. Validate their feelings. It will foster an environment of trust and understanding and emotional support. I am praying for you. Telling your children about your decision to divorce is a deeply emotional and important conversation. Remember, choose the right time and place. Present a united front. Use age-appropriate language. Validate their feelings. You can do this. Provide them with ongoing support as time goes on, as the changes go on, as one person moves out. Reassure them. Give them love and allow them to adjust to the changes. Not only are you nurturing their hearts, you empower them. You show them that life is not always going to be perfect. You got to navigate difficult and tough things sometimes. My kids now know a different side of life. I'm happy that they do. I wish the divorce would have never happened. But in the same token, I'm glad that we learned something deeply meaningful for our family. It changed us forever. Good, bad, and indifferent. We are walking this path. We are still figuring it all out. Let me know in the comments what reservations you still have about telling your kids right now. And if you've had this conversation, let me know what worked well for you. I want to hear about it. Let's help each other get to our next station in life. No matter what, we're doing the best we can, and we're helping each other find our way back home. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and comment. Don't forget to check out the links in my description. There is so much there. Click around and enjoy. And until next time, bestie, you got this. You can do this. God is with you. I'm rooting for you. Peace and love.